Hello, everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 75. Andrew Eisen here, and I am the only one here, at least on video, talking. Got a couple people watching. Hi, Scotty. Um, so I guess we'll just jump right into topics, and since Scotty's asking what I thought of Odyssey, because I did beat it a day or two ago, I don't remember. So let's talk about Super Mario Odyssey because I have thoughts. And my thoughts are I really like it. I thought it was great. Fantastic, even. Very, very good game. A lot of fun. Um, really not much to complain about. So, what could I possibly fill time with discussing? Um, One of the interesting things I found about the game, if we're going to get into complaint territory, is there are a lot of power moons, the shiny collectible of the game. And I collected 880 power moons, and my Odyssey ship, its sail turned gold, and they said, hooray! And I figured, yay, I'm done. And although one thing I was curious about is I had noticed earlier that you could purchase additional, each kingdom allows you to purchase a power moon from the shop. And I noticed that even though you purchase the power moon and it's checked off and it's both the storefront and the list of power moons for that kingdom, it looked like you could actually just buy a bunch more. And yeah, you can, um, plenty more. You can keep buying power moons until you get up to 999, apparently. Um, And I figured, okay, well, that's an interesting design choice because if someone wants to, you see, you can only progress to the next kingdom once you've collected enough power moons. If you're having difficulty finding enough or uh, difficulty completing the challenges that earn you different power moons, you can just collect coins and buy some and be on your merry way. Okay, cool, fair enough. Um, So I guess you haven't really 100%ed the game until you get 999 power moons. I am not going to get 999 power moons because that would be expensive. So I have 880, so I need to buy 119 power moons. And at 100 coins a pop, that's 11,000 or what did I say? 119, 11,900 power moons. The coins, 11,900 coins. I have like, I think like 600 or something like that. Um, Plus, there are two costumes I didn't buy, the gold Mario and metal Mario costumes, and those cost 3,000 coins apiece. So really, I need about 17, 18,000 coins in order to 100% the game. I have absolutely zero interest in grinding for coins for a couple hours just so I can buy more power moons and say I got 999. No interest in doing that whatsoever. That's not fun. I had the same problem with Super Mario Galaxy in that the final star, I think there's stars in that game, requires you to deposit, I think, 10,000 star bits in the Toad Bank. I had I had a couple thousand, I think like two, maybe 3,000 star bits. Um, I don't remember how many I had, but I just was not interested in grinding for a couple hours to earn enough star bits just for the opportunity to go after the final star in Mario Galaxy. So I never actually totally, completely 100%ed Mario Galaxy 2, I think it is. Um, and that was really, I didn't understand that one. why do I need to pay it? Why are you holding the final star behind a 10,000 star bit ransom? That's weird to me. I mean, it makes a bit more sense in Mario Odyssey, in that 880 is really all the quest power moons. The others are just you can keep buying until you get up to 99,999, and it does a thing. I looked it up online. It does an admittedly really cute thing once you do get 999. Um, Oh, Scotty J Man points out I found Mario 3D World completing to 100% to be annoying, having to beat every level with every character. Yeah, I didn't beat I didn't technically 100% Mario 3D World either. I guess I 20%ed it because the game then asks you, "Oh, was that fun? Was that fun? Now go back and do the entire thing again with a different character. Then do it again with a third character. Then again. Then again. No. No, I'm not playing the game again. I didn't in Mario Galaxy 1, I didn't play the entire game again just with Luigi. Fun game, but I played it. I don't want to just play the entire thing again. And yeah, Luigi controls a bit differently, but no thanks. I mean, if they did something like Super Luigi U, where it's remixed levels and all new levels, yeah, sure, absolutely. More stuff, yay. But yeah, some of the later 3D Mario games have been having a lot of crap to uh, pad out their 100%. And I'm a completionist. I love 100%ing stuff, especially if it's a game I like. But if I'm not having fun doing it, I'm not going to do it. And Mario Odyssey would require me to spend 2+ hours just sitting there grinding out coins, just so I could buy them from the shop. That's not fun. I'm not going to waste 2 or 3 hours of my time doing that. But other than that, I love the game. A lot of fun. I really like Mario's. I still hate the modern 3D Mario, the way he starts from a standstill. Um, in 64 and Sunshine, when you tilt the controller stick, Mario goes 0 to 60 immediately. He's just off like a shot. In the Galaxy games, he kind of runs in place for like a quarter a second and then accelerates up to full speed. I don't like that. Doesn't ruin the game for me. I just don't like that. I prefer the Mario 64 method. I find it a lot more fun. But I really do like Mario's movement in this game with the hat, with Cappy. I love the chaining together different moves, doing a long jump and then throwing the hat and diving forward and bouncing off the hat and then throwing it again and doing another forward dive. There are a lot of really cool things you can do in this game, and like I remember I was on a platform. It was like a plus sign that was rotating like this, and I was standing on one of the arms and waiting for the screen to scroll so that I could jump to the next platform. And I realized I shouldn't have been standing on the arm. I needed to be standing on the top to have enough height to jump to the platform. And I was here, and I was like, "Uh-oh!" And it was about to dump me off. And I did a long jump, and I went around to the back and climbed up. I'm like, "Did anyone see that? That was like a hole in one, and no one saw that." I mean, I guess I could capture it using the Switch's 30-second capture utility, but and I did. But I've actually captured a couple things using the Switch, but I just haven't. I don't know. I guess you can share it straight from the Switch, but that probably watermarks everything, and I haven't linked my Switch to Twitter or to whatever you need to do. I just don't care enough. Um, I wish Odyssey had a sprint button for the non 2D sections, says Addicted to Chaos. Mario's top speed doesn't bother me, although sometimes, especially since after switching to the 2D perspectives in the game, I come out into 3D, I'll end up holding the Y button trying to run. I'm like, oh, you don't need to do that. Just hold the control stick. Um, I don't have a problem with his top speed. It's how long he takes to start moving from a dead stop and get to top speed. I've never liked that. Um, I guess I would have been fine with it if that's the way Mario had always controlled, but that's not the way Mario always controlled. They made that change for Galaxy, and I don't like it. Oh well. Um, you can grab it straight from the SD card and put it on the computer. Uh, yeah, but the SD card is like it's like behind the kickstand, isn't it? Oh, I don't have an SD card in there. That's why. Because you need a micro SD card, and I don't have one in there. Yeah. Can you use a thumb? I can see USB ports. Would thumb drives work? How powerful should the next Switch be? As powerful as, ideally, as powerful as its contemporaries. As powerful, it depends on when it comes out. You know, if it came out now, it should be a generation ahead of the PS4 and Xbox One. If it comes out with the PS5 and Xbox Two or whatever they call it, it ideally would be as powerful as those, so that it can run all the same games without significant sacrifices. But if it did that, it probably wouldn't be portable or wouldn't be portable and affordable. Now, personally, I don't give a lick about portability, so I don't care if it's portable. But so, yeah, that's my answer to that. I miss Nintendo competing on the from a technology perspective, competing on the same foot as its contemporaries, like it had always done right up until the Wii. And since then, it has been a full console generation behind. And while its games are great, its games are the best. I'm tired of playing things an entire generation behind everyone else. Oh well, at least the games are good, but wouldn't it be nice if the games were good and uh, visually impressive? Yeah. Imagine Mario Odyssey, only it looked better. That would make it better by definition. I mean, it looks fine. Looks pretty good for a last generation console. I mean, it looks great. It's got a very lot of its art style, but it could look even better. It could look significantly better, and that would make it better with nothing else changing, of course. So, but still, a fun game. Had a lot of fun with it. So you might be wondering, or not, but you might wonder once I pose this, um, which Power Moons gave me the most trouble. Overall, I didn't find the game very difficult. There were a couple challenges that I found challenging, though nothing really terribly difficult. I'll tell you what was the most not challenging, the most painful moon for me to get. It was the volleyball one, the one where you have to do 100 volleyball returns, and it's not so much difficult to do as it is I just didn't want to do it. That was actually the last moon I picked up, the very last one, the jump rope one, and then the the volleyball one, because I just didn't want to do them because they're boring. They're not fun to do. The jump rope one is at least quick. You can at least get it over with fairly quickly. The volleyball one just takes forever. It is so slow. Oh my God, it's so slow and boring. I just didn't want to do that one. It's so boring. It's so slow. If you haven't played it, you have no idea how painfully slow that damn volleyball thing is. for at least the first 30 volleys. It takes like a solid 2 minutes. It's so boring. But I finally, I was almost at the point where I was like, you know what, I may just stop here. I just don't want to do it. But I did, and I got the last Power Moon. Yay. Um, Chaos says, not hard, just tedious. Yeah, yeah, the volleyball, it's just boring. Um, Scotty says the jump rope one was my most hated. How well, I'll tell you, it's tough. How I did that one personally is I had to actually, I don't know if I had to, but what I did was I just took the Joy-Con and I set it on my desk and I tapped it with my index finger so I could, you know, have a lot better control over short controlled jumps rather than using my thumb. Uh, that's how I did that one, and I got it on like, I don't know, second or third try, something like that. Um, so some other ones that gave me trouble were there's one where I am terrible at that the damn piranha plants that spit purple goo. I don't know what it is. I just cannot judge the edge of the goo pool and where Mario is standing because I'm constantly slightly walking into the puddle of goo or slightly landing on the edge of I for some reason just cannot judge that. I don't know why. It's weird. It's not a color blindness thing. It's just for some reason I don't know if it's the hitbox just doesn't work the way I think it should or what, but there is one challenge in the game where there is a invisible platform that winds across a pit of bubbly purple death goo. And there's a bunch of poison piranha plants on top of these invisible platforms. So you can only see them because they spit purple poison on the platform. So you can kind of see where the platform is because there's poison on it, but you can't stand there. So you have to intuit where the platform is based on the puddles of purple goo. Um, and then once you get to the far side, there's three giant poison piranha plants, and you have to stomp them. But they're giant, so you have to do like a ground pound jump or the sideways jump to actually get high enough to stomp them. I didn't have so much trouble with that one when I had Cappy because Cappy, like the jetpack in Mario Sunshine, is kind of a get out of jail free card or a crutch. Um, but late in the game, there's another version of that challenge that takes Cappy away from you. That one I found difficult. That one took me a few tries to get right because I just suck at the dodging the poison pools. I don't know what the hell it is. I just keep landing right on the very edge of them. It's weird. Um, so that one took me several tries. There's one challenge where you hit a P switch and a path appears, and you have a short time to run along the path to the other side. And this is one of the ones that is so long that you have to do the rolling, shake the Joy-Con while rolling to get the extra speed going. And I don't like shaking the controller. I hate that. I'll come back to that, the motion controls. That one took me several attempts because I had to learn how to get out of a fast forward roll without long jumping because Mario would bonk against a ledge because he doesn't get any height off of a long jump. That's another thing that annoys me. I always think that Mario should grab the ledge rather than bonk off of it because he can grab a ledge, but if he long jumps into a ledge, he just bonks off of it. That annoys me. That's just the way the game works, and that's fine, but I'm like, just grab the ledge, jackass. Um, anyway, that challenge took me some tries because I had to experiment and learn how the moves chain together. And you have to get through it with a combination of shaking rolls and forward dives to keep your momentum and speed up so you can get across a fairly large gap before the path disappears. Um, So that one took a couple attempts. Um, let's see. Oh, the portrait painting clues. On most of them are on the dark side of the moon or darker side of the moon, wherever it is. There's a bunch of pictures that you come across, and you look at them in their little uh, visual hints at where power moons are in other stages. I really like that idea. That's a wonderful idea, and I thought most of them were really, really clever. There's one that you find in the Seaside Kingdom that's just the word keep, and it has the moon above, like the E. That one took me a long time to figure out because I didn't know it. I thought it was, for a while, I was just, my head was in the wrong place, and I thought that it was a clue for the Seaside Kingdom. Uh, because I think that was one of the first pictures that I found. And so I figured it would be in the kingdom that you found it in, especially because the power moon depicted on that picture is purple, like the power moons in the Seaside Kingdom. So I spent a lot of time scouring the Seaside Kingdom looking for anything that said keep or had anything to do with the word, um and then I was just in New Donk City, and I found so spoilers on this one. And I was in New Donk City, and I saw the keep clear message painted on the road. I'm like, oh, butt stomp, moon pops out. I'm like, oh, okay. Oops. Um, the other one that took me a while to figure, I got mainly out of process of elimination, was the picture of the uh, circle of the moon phases, and one in like the bottom left has the star on it. It took me a while to figure. It was kind of a process of elimination to figure out where that was. It's in the Cloud Kingdom, a place that you go to like once and then never go back to, really, because there's just nothing there. So I it just forgot about it, and it's like, oh, is this the Cloud Kingdom? And I go back and I'm like, oh yeah, because there's things on okay. Um, the last challenge, the very last one on the darker side of the moon, the really long one with no checkpoints. Um, I didn't really have a problem with that. Mainly, the most difficult thing for me on that one is screwing up halfway through and then having to restart from the beginning. I just don't want to. It's like I want to try the where I died. I don't want to do the beginning part. I've done the beginning part. Beginning parts, I'm done with it. Maybe if they did two versions of it, a checkpoint version where you get a power moon, and then an additional power moon where you get where there's no checkpoints in it, and maybe increase the difficulty a little bit. I think that would be interesting because I, it always annoys me when I have difficulty with a particular section of a game, and I have to work through a bunch of other crap to get up to the section that I'm having difficulty with. I don't want to deal with all the other crap that I'm good at. I want to try the stuff that I'm bad at so that I can practice it. Um, but yeah, I got it after a couple of tries. What's interesting is I immediately found like a really significant shortcut, the frilled lizard in the game that glides. Halfway through that level, you find the frilled lizard, and you're supposed to glide it across a chasm with a bunch of mosquitoes and land, and then do a slingshot challenge off of the little fork guys from the Luncheon Kingdom. So you use the hat to flick off them across lava, and then you go down a pipe, and then you have a bunch of challenges in this underground area, and then you pop up on the other side. You can actually fly if you do the damn shake the controller thing. You can fly that damn frilled lizard all the way to the end of the stage. I'm not kidding, all the way to the end. And there's some coins and a little um the electric thing that you zip along the power line, and it'll take you to the very end. I'm like, wow, that skips almost literally half the entire challenge. And the first time I'm shaking them, flying, like, how far can you get? And I get all the way. I'm like, and I just kind of dive in the lava and do it again because did I die? No, I think I jumped off the thing and flew. Where did I go? No, I think I did. get in the lava because the frilled lizard just went poof for some reason, and I had to throw my hat and jump the last little bit. Um, so I had to replay it just to see what I missed. And there's an underground area with a bunch of those multicolored little spiky gremlin dudes. You're on a moving platform with those things that when you hit with your hat, the concentric circles uh, spawn out from, and then hit others. So you have to try not to hit that thing while not getting smacked by the little guys. And then there's a the bird with the beak thing. There's a challenge, and then there's a 2D challenge. And you miss all of that if you just say you can sail over the luncheon fork flicker guys and the entire underground area and Bowser's entire challenge. You just go straight over all of this. I'm like, that's not even really well hidden. That's just fly to the end, which I found kind of weird. But it's always interesting when you find it's like, ooh, I found a secret, and then there's like a stack of coins up there, and Nintendo's like, yeah, yeah, we know you can do that. Good job. That's funny. But I wanted to at least see all of what that stage had to offer, and it again, not really hard. It's just long, and if you screw up, you have to do the whole thing again. So it probably took me, gosh, hard to tell because every time I failed, I just stopped playing for a while and then went back to it later. So it took me like all day because I'd fail and I go, okay, I'm going to do something else. I'll try it later. Um, so it probably took me a solid 10 tries maybe to get through that thing. Um, where I'll tell you, the first place I died was actually where there's a shortcut, and it's the moving wall challenge. You throw your hat on a scarecrow that's on the underside of a block, and then the walls start moving, and you need to get out of the way before they push you into the lava and wall jump off them. The first time you go there, you don't really know that's going to happen. I mean, the walls start shaking, and you're like, uh, if you're me, I'm like, what's going on? It pushes me into the lava. I'm like, oh, shoot. Oh, okay. We're doing this. All right. Um, and then the second time I got there, I noticed that when you throw the scarecrow hat or the hat on the scarecrow, the block that it's on just goes up. I was like, wait a minute. And so I go back to the beginning, wait for it to come down. I stand on top of the block and I do the downward throw and then the shake for the homing thing. And it took several tries, but it got on the hat and it just picked me up and put me on top of the entire place. And there's like a coin block or something up there. And Nintendo's like, yeah, we know you can do that. And so again, I went back down and did the challenge properly. And then the frilled lizard is there. So that was the first place I died. Um, then I'll tell you where I had another problem where the the fireball dude where you're hopping from lava pool to lava pool. That's fairly near the beginning, but I, for some reason I have trouble with that one. I just have trouble landing correctly. Um, and most of my deaths were just me getting impatient and trying to get back up to where I was and just making dumb mistakes. Um, also, sometimes Mario would throw his hand, like the fork flicking one. I did that challenge and then I glided past it every time because I was tired of doing it. Because sometimes Mario just decided not to throw his hat in the right direction, or the hat wouldn't catch the luncheon fork guy. Ah. But yeah, it was. I like that stage. It was a fun stage. It was a nice. Here's a culmination of all the cool things you've learned, callbacks to all the neat things you've done. It's a really great stage, and it's well paced. It's well designed. Um, it's a little annoying when you make a mistake and fall off the edge or just get impatient because then you have to start over, which I hate because it's like I don't want to do the beginning part again. Um, but anyway, fun stage. Wrister bits. That's a you realize that video is staged, right? um, Oni64 says, "I wish Rare would make games again." I guess they do. I mean, they're owned by Microsoft. I don't remember the last one they did, but uh, I guess the problem is all the people who made Rare left when Microsoft bought them. So, um, yeah, but I miss Rare. What's funny is when I was younger, as two of the companies that I just really admired were Rare and Silicon Knights, and look what happened to both of them. Both were Nintendo second parties. Both were great. Both got purchased by Microsoft, and then sucked. So, uh, yeah, nice taste there, Andrew. Um, so let's see. Mario Odyssey. Anything left to say? Any other challenges that? The snowman. Snowman. Sea of Thieves. Yeah, yeah. That's what Rare's doing right now. It's. I don't care about Sea of Thieves. It doesn't look good to me. That not my kind of game though. It's a multiplayer game. So pirates are cool. It's got a nice aesthetic. It's fine. It's just not for me. Um, what was I talking about? Mario Odyssey. I was mentioning something specific. Um, totally forget. Um, anyway, Mario Odyssey is very, very good. Highly recommend it. And now that I'm done with Mario Odyssey, I guess my Switch is going in mothballs for a while because there's nothing on it that I want to play, or nothing that I'm going to play for a while. Zelda, still waiting to hear what the hell DLC Pack 2 is. Because if it's something I feel I need to have, I'm gonna have to factor that into the purchase price of the game. Because if you know me, you know I don't pay more than $50 for any video game, whether it's worth it or not. So if I feel I must have the DLC, then I'm gonna have to wait until I can find Breath of the Wild for $30 or less, because that DLC is $20, and that's probably never ever going to change. Xenoblade 2 looks terrible to me. And I say this as a fan of the first, a big fan of the first two Xenoblades. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 looks absolutely god awful. It looks terrible. I've watched a ton of gameplay footage, and it looks phenomenally bad to me. Maybe it just doesn't preview well. I don't know. So I'm very curious to see what the reviews say. I mean, I'm not writing it off. I'm just very concerned because it looks bad to me. Um, uh, Feel free to disagree. Totally cool. Just doesn't look good to me. Mainly, it's the combat. I mean, I have a big problem with the character design in the game. It's terrible, especially the leads. These are like the worst, some of the worst designed characters I have seen in a long time, especially the costuming. Oh my God, it's so bad. So bad. And what makes it worse is you can't change clothes in this game. Changing clothes was a big part of the first two games. It's hard to believe that you can't change clothes in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 when it was a big part of the first two games. And on top of that, it's like, no, no, you have to wear these impossibly bad outfits for the entire game. The worst outfits since Schneider in Konami's Hybrid Heaven for the N64. Chaos says Xenoblade has always had lousy character design. Uh, I'd I wouldn't go so far as to say lousy. I'd gotten too uninspired, maybe. You know, Shulk in the game from the first one is they're fine. The characters in I mean they're okay. They're at least distinct and they have personalities. Xenoblade Chronicles X, the that was just kind of generic. That really generic. They were just kind of there. Um, and then just Xenoblade 2. Oh my god. Oy. But you know, I can usually swing with art styles I don't care for as long as the game is good. But the game doesn't look good, especially the combat. It looks bad to me. So I'll be very interested to read reviews for this game when it hits. What next week? December 1st is I think. Um, but anyway, even if it is great, and even if it did look great, I wouldn't be buying it because it's doing that season pass crap. So the game isn't $60; it's $60 plus $20, whatever the season pass is. So it's $80 or $90 if it's a $30 season pass. I don't remember. So now I have to wait until the game drops in price, and it's going to be a year because at least because the season pass crap is scheduled throughout I think next September. Um, what else? Oh, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle I was very interested in, but again, season pass. Interestingly, there's a gold edition which includes all the season passes stuff, and that's supposed to be out in early 2018, which is a lot sooner than I expected. So that may be the next one I get, as long as I can get it for $50 or less. And other than that, there's nothing on the Switch that I want, or rather, nothing on the Switch that I want that I can't play anywhere else. Um, because if I can play it on the PS4, I'm going to play it on the PS4. Valkyria Chronicles 4 was just announced, I think this last week. I am super excited for that because I love Valkyria Chronicles. I think it was actually the first game I played for the PlayStation 3. Um, and a phenomenal game. Loved the hell out of it. Really excited for 4, but why would I get the Switch version? I don't care about portability, so why would I get the Switch version? It almost certainly will look and run better on the PS4. So why, if I don't care about portability, would I get it for the Switch? I almost certainly will not. Um, Metroid Prime 4, I'll almost certainly get. I mean, unless that comes out looking terrible, which is kind of hard to believe. Um, Project Octopath Traveler looks great. Don't know when that's coming out. 2018, apparently sometime. Um, Chaos says I'm just refusing to buy the season pass. That's one thing you can do, but you see, for me, I feel like you've removed part of the game. I want the whole game. Now, sometimes season pass is like just multiplayer crap that I don't care about, and if that's the case, like Zelda DLC, if the story DLC and DLC Pack 2 is not interesting, if it's just dumb or something, then I'm fine just not having it because there's nothing in DLC Pack 1 that I really care about. It's got a t-shirt. Okay. It's got hard mode. Whatever. That should be in the game in the first place. It's got that neat little step tracker thing. That also should just be a free update. It's got that warpy talisman thing. Great. That should be a free update too. You know, I don't care about anything in the DLC Pack 1. It's really going to come down to what this new story and dungeon thing in DLC Pack 2 is, which Nintendo, I'm really surprised that they still have not talked about. Oh, they'll tell you all about the amiibo, the 4 new amiibo, but the game, no, they don't really seem interested. It's like, do you know, or are you still like trying to figure out what it's supposed to be? Did you announce it before you even planned what it was going to be? I don't know. Um, but luckily, I have a whole shelf full of unplayed games, so plenty to keep me occupied until the next Switch game comes out. Um, Still still need Part 3 released in the West. Part 3 of what? Valkyria Chronicles? Yeah, 2 was a Vita game, which disappoints me because I don't have a Vita and wouldn't want to play it on a handheld anyway. 3, I don't remember. I think that was Vita also, and I think that was didn't go outside of Japan. And then that spin-off Valkyria Revelations rebooted, whatever the hell they called it, was apparently Valkyria Chronicles in name only. So, oh, PSP. You're right, PSP. Um, at least there aren't microtransactions, and yeah, that's really gonna bother me when if Nintendo starts doing the microtransactions and loot box crap. Yeah, which brings us to a new topic, I suppose, and that's Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, um, which is a boy did they miss the boat on that name. I mean, even if you want Pocket, you think it'd be Pocket Park. I mean, I realize it's a campsite, but alliteration is cool, you know. I still like my title of Animal Crossing Happy Campers. I think that's better. Scotty says if you think the Joy-Con are bad, holy heck, is the Vita worse? I've actually never held the Vita, so I don't know. But yeah, I don't dig on handheld gaming. Um, I'm actually I turned on Lego Star Wars Force Awakens for the PS4 because I bought the edition that included all of the DLC for $20 a month or 2 or 3 ago. And I'm having just a casual Thanksgiving holiday. I'm on call, so I can't really go anywhere or do anything. I thought I'll just kick back and play a nice, delightful little Lego game. If I get a call, I can just pause it real easy. You just sit back. It's bad. Traveler's Tales, you shame on you because this one's bad. Just technically, it's bad. There's a lot of sound problems in this game. It's not balanced correctly. It pops. The sound levels keep changing. Transitions between scenes are like new scene now without any finesse. Um, it's one of those games that uses a lot of dialogue from the movie, so they kind of the Lego games that work the best, I feel, are the ones where they don't worry about having the actual dialogue from the movie. They just don't follow a movie like Lego Marvel Superheroes. That one's great because they just made or Lego Batman 2. They just made up their own damn story, and it's wonderful. Uh, when they use dialogue from the film, they're kind of trapped. There's only so much they can do, and they do get creative in areas, and they definitely got what's her face who plays Ray. Yeah, I'm not coming up with her name. Daisy Ridley. That suddenly popped in there. They definitely got her to record new dialogue because she's all over the place. Um, I think it's pretty clear that that's not John Boyega as Finn. One, because it doesn't sound like him, and two, because he doesn't talk too much. So it sounds like they managed to get Daisy Ridley to record new dialogue and no one else, although the Harrison Ford sound alike is pretty good. I'm only like 5 levels into the game. It's not very fun. It's they're trying something new with like cover based combat, and combat in these games just never work. For me, most of these games are environmental puzzlers. They're not action games. You know, when stormtroopers or whatever enemy runs onto the scene, I'm like, go away. I'm busy destroying things and collecting studs and building other things. You're interrupting my game. Go away. Um, but maybe it'll not enough to completely turn me off the game. Maybe I'm just in a bad mood. That's possible. Um, I'm gonna stick with it for a while and see what happens. But anyway, back to Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. Um, it's terrible. I mean, it is just boring as hell. It is a bad, bad, bad game. Even by mobile standards, it's bad. Um, then again, I don't like Animal Crossing, so that may be it. The biggest problem with the game is it, the idea of the game is you have your own campsite and you want to decorate it how you want. So you've got a campsite, you've got a little camper, a little mobile home camper, and you've got your avatar character. And you can play dress up with your character and play interior decorator and exterior decorator with your camper. And you can build all kinds of uh, amenities for your campsite and move stuff around. And that's great. That's a wonderful idea for a game that works fine. Dress up mode makes everything better. So that's a fine idea for the game. I mean, here's the problem. The gameplay is the gameplay loop is you do favors for the animal citizens, and they will give you materials and money that you can use to craft stuff to decorate your campsite with. Fine. Here's the problem. Doing favors for animals is not fun. The gameplay of the game, the actual part you play, the things you do to earn the materials and money to get the stuff that you decorate your place with is not fun because there's no gameplay there. Well, not no gameplay. Here's the gameplay. You pick things up off the ground and you give them to the animals. That's the entire game. You pick stuff up off of the ground and you give it to the animals. And then they will give you materials and money, which you then use to craft stuff to decorate your campsite with. You pick stuff up off the ground and you hand it over to the animals. That's it. That's the entire game. So you see a seashell on the ground, you tap the seashell and you pick it up. There are trees that have fruit in them. You tap the tree, the fruit falls out, you tap the fruit and you pick it up off the ground. You see a butterfly or a bug, a cicada or something on a tree. You tap that bug and your character automatically sneaks up, and when it says tap on the screen, literally it says tap. You tap the screen and your character grabs the bug. Is there a fish you want? You tap the fish, you cast a line out, the fish nibbles on it, and then when the screen literally says tap, you tap the screen and you catch the fish. You pick stuff up off of the ground and you hand it to the animals. That's the gameplay. That's what you have to do to get the materials you need to craft stuff to decorate your camp with. It is phenomenally boring. I was thinking about Monster Hunter while I was playing this game. I was thinking, what's the difference between Animal Crossing Pocket Camp and Monster Hunter? Because both games kind of have a similar goal, right? Um, you do a thing to earn materials to make cool looking stuff, right? In Animal Crossing, you do a thing to earn materials so that you can make cool stuff for your campsite. In Monster Hunter, you do a thing so that you can earn materials so that you can make cool stuff to wear and beat big dragons on the head with, right? It's the same game, essentially. Here's the difference. In Animal Crossing, the thing you do to earn materials is pick stuff up off of the ground. In Monster Hunter, The thing you do to earn materials to make cool stuff is you fight giant monsters. You see, in Monster Hunter, the thing you do to earn materials to make cool stuff is fun. Fighting giant monsters is fun. In Animal Crossing, the thing you do to earn materials to make cool stuff is you pick things up off of the ground and you hand it over to other people. That's not fun at all to me. Um, Scotty says that's exactly what Animal Crossing is. Well, to a point. In the original Animal Crossing, um, there was at least a little bit of even just a small amount, but there was a little bit of skill and strategy and work that went into fishing and bug catching. You actually had to sneak up behind bugs and catch them. You had to slowly walk over and, hit them with a net to catch them. And you could miss. In Animal Crossing, you can't miss. You tap on the bug, and when it says tap, you tap. That's it. You cannot possibly miss unless you are just not following the directions. Same thing with fishing. In the original game, you had to cast your line in the right place and see if the fish would notice, and then wait for the bobber to go under the water. And as soon as it went down, you hit the button and you pull the fish out. I mean, it's really, really simple, but sometimes simple is good. Animal Crossing not is beyond simple. It's just there's no game. It's just tap on the thing, and then when we say hit tap, and it's done. There's nothing to do. Also, in Animal Crossing, you would do favors for the different villagers. Henry the elephant or whatever would say, "Hey, I lent my Game Boy to Samantha the cat. Would you go get it back for me? I'll make it worth your while." So you go over to Samantha the cat, and she's like, "Oh, I gave it to Julie the tiger." And I'm like, "You're a bad friend. You don't loan other people's stuff out to other people. That's terrible. Shame on you, Samantha the cat." So you go over to Julie the tiger, and it turns out that she gave it to Harvey the owl or whatever. And you go through this chain, and you finally find the one thing, and you have to remember who the hell this belonged to in the first place and take it back to them. And yeah, that's simple. Yeah, that's stupid, but at least it's something other than literally picking things up off of the ground and handing it to people. Also, in that game, you could make the place your own. You could plant trees. You could plant flowers. You could just dig holes if you wanted. You had to weed the place because if you didn't, it would become overgrown. You could chop down trees, and as I mentioned, to plant them somewhere else. So you could customize and craft your entire area. There was stuff to do. It's still a boring ass game. I don't like it at all. My sister and my mother love it. They're hardcore Animal Crossing fans. Be interesting to see if what they think of Animal Crossing. Oh, wait. I'll never know what they think of Animal Crossing, at least mom, because of the always on DRM that prevents my mom from even playing the damn game. Nice job, Nintendo. Nice job. If you didn't know, Animal Crossing, like so many mobile games, has always on DRM. Whenever you do a thing, it constantly calls home to make sure you're online. And even if you are, it's been having a lot of error server issues. So, um, not sure what the idea behind let's prevent a portion of our user base from playing the game and let's make it terribly inconvenient for another portion. I, I don't get that. Anyway, Animal Crossing is terrible and it's boring, and I don't understand why anyone would want to play it. But hey, you do you. So that's Animal Crossing. Um, let's see. I watched The Punisher on Netflix. Um, I have complained, I think, about every single show that they're too long. There's too many episodes. The story that they're telling doesn't justify the 13 episodes that they stretch it out to. Every single series, um, with the exception, I suppose, of the Defenders, but that was 8 episodes, and rightfully so. Um, all the shows feel like they're 2 or 3 episodes too long because all of them have at different points depending on the series, but they have this stretch that's just, oh my god, get on, where it starts spinning its wheels for a while. The Punisher, I would say, doesn't have that problem because the whole show is really leisurely paced. I wouldn't go so far as to call it necessarily slow. I think leisurely paced is the appropriate way to describe the pacing of this show. But that said, it keeps up the same pace throughout. It never felt to me like I got to the patch of episodes where it was spinning its wheels. It always had a sense of forward momentum. It was always going somewhere. It just was very leisurely about doing it. Um, Decent enough show. I enjoyed it. Um, Not perfect. Have some criticisms as I do for most things. Um, but yeah, overall I liked it. A couple episodes in, Billy Russo shows up. I'm like, oh, cool. He's going to turn into Jigsaw because I know the comics. I know who the character is. And then I'm gonna wait for it. He's gonna go face first through a plate glass window or something. And we got to episode 6 or 7. I was thinking, oh wait, no, no, this is a Marvel Netflix show. He's gonna turn into Jigsaw in the very last episode. Kind of like in the first season of Daredevil, where it's like, when's he gonna get his red suit? The very last episode. When's the Purple Man gonna be purple for a split second in the very last episode? When's Billy Russo turned into Jigsaw? The end of the last episode. And yeah, that's exactly what happens. Um, Scotty, is it better? Scotty asks, is it better than Iron Fist? Everything is better than Iron Fist because Iron Fist is the worst. The worst. That is hyperbole. But at least as far as Marvel goes, yeah, Iron Fist is phenomenally bad. I mean, they should just kill off the character or something. It's not salvageable. Just get rid of him. Ignore him. Prove me wrong, but good God, was Iron Fist terrible, and he is absolutely the worst part of the Defenders. Um, but luckily, he's not in the Punisher, which automatically makes the Punisher better. Um, Although it is interesting, the Punisher is weirdly removed from the entire Marvel universe. Like, I don't, they seem to go out of their way to not mention anything. Like, if you did not know that the Punisher was a Marvel character, you would not know that this existed other than Karen Page is in there. And then she disappears after episode 10. I mean, she didn't have much to do. I mean, she gets into a uh, hostage situation kind of thing, and it's resolved, and then she disappears from the show. It's like, oh, okay, bye. Um, you got 13 episodes. You didn't really have room. Come on now. Um, I still think this show didn't need to be 13 episodes long. They could have cut it by about 3 episodes and just increase the momentum of the series. Um, uh, Addicted to Chaos says Iron Fist's biggest problems were poor writing and horrible pacing. I would contend that the biggest problem with Iron Fist is Iron Fist, and Iron Fist is a terrible human being. That I would say that's the biggest problem. But yeah, it's not paced particularly well, and I would say that the fact that Danny Rand is just a terrible human being is a result of bad writing. So yeah. Um, Scott, Danny Rand needs another plane crash, but permanent. Yeah. No, I enjoyed The Punisher, but it is weirdly removed. There, for example, they're like New York. It's terrible things, weird, horrible, notable things happen, and we just normalize it quickly, and we get on with our lives, and we just adapt and deal with it. Like 9/11. It's like, yeah, not gonna mention the Chitari invasion, which happened, like 4 years ago. I mean, absolutely mention 9/11. That's certainly a great example, but it feels like you would have mentioned the Chitari invasion in that same sentence, since we were specifically talking about New York just kind of swinging with weird, terrible things. 9/11, yeah, it was terrible, but we banded together and we dealt with it, and we moved on with our lives, and it became a normal thing. And then the aliens came down, and the superheroes did stuff, and it just seemed like that it's that kind of thing. And no one, Claire Temple doesn't show up. Give the woman a break. She's been in all of the rest of the shows. Um, Not Chaos says, as bad as Iron Fist was, it was still better than what Arrow has become. Oh, okay. I've never watched Arrow. That's DC, so not that I have anything against DC. The show just looked crap, and I never bothered watching it. But it's in like 6 seasons now, so must be doing something right. Maybe the lead dude is like really attractive without a shirt, and he is, and that's enough for some people. And you know, that's enough for you. Good on you. But I remember there's an interview with the actor, whoever he is, who plays Arrow, and the interviewer was like, "So." I think it was after the first season, and the interviewer said, "So, do you know how many times you were shirt? Do you know how many episodes out of the 26 or whatever in the first season you were shirtless?" And he goes, "God, like at least half." And I think the answer was like 17 or something like that. And it's true, because I remember the billboards on the sides of bus stops was just him without his shirt. Didn't even have his bow and arrow. It's just the dude standing there shirtless. I'm like, well, you know what they're selling. Stephen Amell. Okay. Um, uh, yeah, I've never watched a single episode, so I really don't know. It just didn't look very good. I mean, first of all, they call it Arrow, and for a fan of the comics, if you do that, it feels like you're ashamed of the character. You know, um, it's not a deal breaker. It just feels like you're starting off on the wrong foot. Um, hey, Andres, uh, probably going to be ending soon because I'm on call, and I haven't had phone hasn't rung yet, so we're doing okay. Uh, but I think I'm still thinking. I finished it late last night, and I'm still thinking about the Punisher and thinking about how I feel about um, what it was trying to say and how successful it was at that. Um, because the series seems to be trying to say, okay, we're all here to see the Punisher punish, but there's a character in the show that I think what the show was going for was saying, okay, the Punisher's a comic book character, right? He's entertaining and he's cathartic on some level, but then they introduce another character in the show, which I could be totally wrong about this, just my interpretation, but it feels like the show was trying to say, look, this guy, this is really what a real life Punisher would be. Yeah, the fantasy can be fun, but let's not kid ourselves. This guy in real life would be this guy. You know, a guy who kills people who he determines are bad guys, and from our perspective, he's just some asshole who blows up innocent people in office buildings. And if that's what they're going for, I think that's a really interesting tact to take with this show, especially when we live in a world where horrible things happen on a daily basis, and you have people who just go around shooting other people. So I think it's important to at least address that. Uh, I don't know how successful it was, if that's really what it was going for. Um, I'm still thinking about it, you know. Um, the show, man, can Frank Castle take a lot of punishment? The punish, should be called the Punished, because man, he get. I think Castle suffers more injury in this film than everyone else combined. Um, Not really, but man, does he get the crap beat out of him. I think they did a lot of interesting stuff with the new characters that were introduced for the show. At least I don't recognize them. I mean, Frank Castle and Karen Page and Micro are all from the comics, but uh, most of the extended, and Billy Russo, of course, but most of the extended cast I'm not familiar with. So, um, but I like them. I like the Homeland Security person, Dinah, whatever her name is. Her partner, he's an interesting dude. I could have used a little bit, fleshing him out a little bit more as a character. I liked the the bad guy with the eye, uh, the CIA dude. I liked him. I liked the woman who ran, not NS. I guess she was the head of the CIA. She didn't get a whole hell of a lot of screen time, but I liked I liked the what they I liked what they did with that character. I liked the fact that she wasn't just, you know, just a bad guy. Like, oh, it's all for the greater good, or we have to do horrible things and for the greater good. She she's like, I'm a realist. I understand the greater good, but I'm really not standing for this repugnant, horrible crap here. I really like that take on the character. Um, so some really great stuff in The Punisher. Worth a watch, I think. It's 13 episodes, and it doesn't really need to be, but eh, you know. I also really liked episode 10, I think, somewhere on there, which does this kind of Rashomon thing where um, it keeps rewinding time and showing things from several different people's perspectives. There's another character, the senator, the gun rights senator dude, who just completely, after that episode, is gone from the story. And again, it's like we're at an unnecessary 13 episodes. How do we keep having characters that just up and go missing? Um, oh well, it's not a huge deal, but he just he's introduced. It seems like it's there's going to be some payoff, and the payoff is a fairly cool episode. Um, oh, another problem is something one of the other shows did too is the story kind of ends at episode 12, and then episode 13 is just no, we still got to do the one thing, so we're just going to keep going. It feels like they really should have found a way to tie it together, because at that point you're like, we're still doing this, all right. I mean, yeah, we got to do this, but it feels like the story has reached its conclusion, but you just let a thread. The thread should have been tied in with the conclusion of the story, and they just let it trail off. Not the biggest problem in the world, but something I noticed. So yeah, Super Mario Odyssey, very good. Um, Animal Crossing, very bad. Punisher, worth a watch. And that is the show. So I have to get back to work. Hopefully, work will leave me alone long enough to eat because I'm hungry. Oh, I hope everyone had a lovely Thanksgiving. I didn't have one uh, because I'm busy. I'm on call. I'll probably treat myself to sushi or something next weekend. Um, but that's okay because I get Christmas and New Year's off this year, so that'll be nice. So that is the show for this evening. Thank you everyone for keeping me company for the hour. Merry Thanksgivingness to everybody. At least in America, I know our Canadian friends are not doing Thanksgiving. I think they have Thanksgiving. They just do it a different day. Whatever. Um, but so Andrew Eisen, Eisen, plug it into YouTube. You get my silly YouTube videos. Uh, what did I did something recently, didn't I? Oh yeah, watch my video "All the Money Greedy Video Game Publishers Look to EA." Probably one of the most cynical things I've ever written. It basically my sister and I are playing greedy video game publishers who are taking a page from EA's book on microtransactions. I'm proud of it. I think it turned out pretty well. So give it a watch and let me know what you think. And I have all the footage from Extra Life. I'm dividing it into hour chunks. I'll probably start uploading them like December 1st, so the end of next week. I just want to organize everything before I start rendering and uploading, just so I know what I'm working with. I don't have to do it that way, but that's the way I prefer to do it. Uh, so you can also follow me on Twitter at Andrew Eisen and hear me say things that you'll wonder, what does your mother think of this? I don't know. I didn't ask her. I think she thinks I'm kind of a silly boy. Anyway, have a lovely evening, y'all. I'm out of here. Got to get back to work. So see y'all next week. Bye bye.